Greetings from Snake Mountain Boat Works on Wednesday, May 24, 2023. I thought we'd do a little flashback to start today's update on our 1961 20-foot Lyman Runabout on the day she arrived at Snake Mountain Boat Works last February. This will give you a nice bridge from where she was to where she is today. She had been in storage since 2011, and fortunately it was dry storage. It really didn't damage much of anything. The varnish had long since dried out and was flaking. This is a plywood strake boat, not an MDO strake boat, which is a great plus. But as you can see, she was not the prettiest girl on the pond last February when she arrived. She had been used as a fishing boat, I believe on Lake George in New York State. But you can see that the paint on the hull sides had failed. That the varnish and the finishes everywhere on the boat were just in terrible condition. But what you don't see is rot. We have now completely preserved this hull from keel to gunnels to interior. Every piece you see there was disassembled, stripped to bare wood, stained with Chris Craft post-war stain from Mike Mayer, lowboat.com in Oregon. We thought our engine was toast. It had sat since 2011. Well, I guess Evinrude builds strong engines because we've run her once. We've gone all through, of course, and cleaned her up, replaced spark plugs, as you should with any engine that's sat for a long time. We squirted a little magic mystery oil in the cylinders and turned her over a few times, put a battery to her, put some fuel to her, and off she went. So she will remain with this Lyman. There was way too much paint on the hull sides. I wish some of that paint had been put on the bottom. But we stripped it all and took that windshield completely apart. Stripped every speck of this paint. It was reminiscent of a 23-foot Lyman we did, where I kept track of the pounds of paint we took off the hull sides. I quit counting at 93. Yes, 93 pounds. There's her engine. But as I said earlier, what you don't see is the Lyman disease. There was absolutely no rot in the two lower corners of this transom. Well, I think we've tantalized you long enough. Let's go out and take a look at where she is now. Since we ended the intro at the transom, let's launch today's update at the transom. What do you think? Look a little different? We have not put the speedometer pickup on yet. As you can see, the boot stripe is still in process. But what you'll also see is some really wonderful varnish. As I said, every single thing was removed from this boat, every bit. The flooring was pretty shot, so we replaced it. It had some horrifically awful remnants of paint on it. We just gave up. It was actually more cost effective to simply replace these panels. And then, of course, we were able to give Sandusky Paint Company in Sandusky, Ohio a call and get some Lyman Santan bilge paint. There's about 4 coats on there. We've removed the various pieces of fishing gear. We don't have the gauge panel in yet, steering and that sort of stuff. The engine is connected, but the wires are still hanging loose. We'll run those all up right under the gunnel, as is historically correct. And again, a new bilge floor panel. The interior surfaces, that's a question I get all the time. Boy, do we really want to strip all of that with paint stripper and then try to varnish it? Well, I guess my position as a preservationist is it's taken a long, long time to build this patina and this sort of badge of courage. Look what I've done. Look how long I've lasted. And I will say again, this is absolutely the best conditioned Lyman hull we've seen in well over a decade. We still must finish polishing the corners on the windscreen. And we did have to do some repairs there. There was some delamination. And as you can see, the glass is very, very clean, very clear. We hope it's that way when we actually have glass in the windshield. Her foredeck, again, remember that intro video. Scan back, take a look at it if you wish. Looks a little different now. And then the hull sides, her owner, quite correctly, having done some research, chose the dark navy blue top strake, and then the white, as is our custom, is Interlux Premium Yacht Enamel in semi-gloss white. If you put high gloss white on, no matter how good you are with block sanding, it's just going to look like a moonscape because that gloss picks up every tiny ripple. Remember, you're working with plywood, or you're not working with mahogany, so you can't really sand it flat. So in another week or so, we'll have her sent off to canvas for a new mooring cover, at which point she'll make her trek to Lake Saratoga in the state of New York. So that's our update on our 1961 20-foot Lyman Runabout. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now from Snake Mountain Boat Works.